We left Jonah last time just as a big fish spat him out onto the beach. Now we all know the story very well, most likely through our Sunday school days, perhaps for others through folklore. Just to recap, Jonah had tried to run away from God, but through the storm it became abundantly clear to Jonah that God had not left him, or rather he had not left God. There's an old saying that if God seems a long way away, guess who moved? Now God had placed a call upon Jonah's life to go to that great city of Nineveh and to warn the people who lived there of impending judgment. We all know, or we should know, that you cannot run or hide from God. It just doesn't work. We might try to avoid people, but we certainly can't get away from God, ever. He knows us intimately, through and through, which is both scary and comforting. Strangely enough, many still try to hide from God. It's sort of like that Adam and Eve thing all over again. Anyway, Jonah hopped on board a ship and he found himself in a terrible storm at sea. He was thrown overboard, and this is where it gets very, very interesting, because we read in the scriptures that God had arranged for a big fish to come along and swallow him. It's a story, we all know the story of Jonah and the big fish. For 3 days he was inside of that big fish. Now I have to say this, and this is from someone who does not like seafood, that this whole story is most unappealing. But I imagine it's quite unpleasant anyway, no matter whether you eat seafood or not, no matter which way you come at it. And obviously fish don't like people food. We also have to notice that God wanted to give Jonah another opportunity to respond to the call upon his life. I like that. God is the giver of new opportunities, and even when we mess up, he wants to bring us back to himself. He offers us a new beginning, a new opportunity to start all over again. God sometimes shakes our world as a way, perhaps, of getting our attention. I've noticed that. You may have too. Now, I do not think that the time that Jonah spent inside of this fish was anything like a cruise on a super yacht or super boat. There wasn't a whole lot of glamour about this time inside of the fish at all. Jonah describes the experience in chapter 2 of the Old Testament book of his name, same name, Jonah. He describes the experience as he sank beneath the waves. It's worth reading. He then gives praise to the Lord for snatching him out of the jaws of death, ironically through the jaws of a fish. He went on to say, as my life was slipping away, I remembered the Lord. There's a lot for us to think about in these few words. Jonah thought that his life was finished, that it was over. But there was no way out for him to escape from these depths of the ocean. That was it. But God made a way, a somewhat unexpected way. But Jonah was so thankful, and he praised the God who rescued him. We read that he prayed earnestly. Let me encourage you, if your life is in danger, if life is not going all that well, if someone you know is really struggling, go into that deep, deep, earnest prayer. God does hear, and he does answer our prayers. There's so much relevance for us in this very short testimony from Jonah. And this story should encourage us in our faith journey. Of course, we know that Jonah stepped back into the mission field that God had originally called him to. But more about that next time. Remember though, as you go about your life in your world this week, that God is with you. You're not on your own. Don't try to run and hide from God. Rather be blessed by being in his presence. The task ahead may seem big, but you are not on your own. If God calls, he equips. Remember that and have a wonderful week, and may God richly bless you.